Our next guest is, of course, Bodie Stroud. Bodie, welcome once again to Horsepower for an Hour.
Hey, thanks, man. And yeah, it has been a while.
It's been a while since you've been on the show. First thing, to get some of our listeners caught up, talk a little bit about the show American Restoration. For those listeners out there that may not be familiar with the series, let's hear a little bit about what the show is about.
It's about building old stuff, basically. I mean, it was Rick out in Vegas. He was doing it for years, and, for a while I had to be hush-hush about it, but apparently he got greedy and played the wrong card, so they aced him out. And but when I first signed the deal for the show, I didn't even know it was American Restoration. I signed a deal with the History Channel, and then all of a sudden they brought some new other shops into the thing. And the working title was called Fire and Iron or something like that. And then the day we started filming, it was American Restoration. So, at first I thought, oh, God, I'm going to have a lot of haters or this or that. But it went really well.
Well, one thing is, for you, buddy, and we've talked about this before, you've built some really cool cars, but yours is an interesting story. You kind of came into this thing unsuspectingly, it seems like. You didn't really have, in the beginning, it wasn't part of your plan, and now here you are.
But you know what?
At the pinnacle of it.
Yeah, but I've always resort to just doing what I do and what I do best, and that's building. I'm not on the social media stuff and arguing with people all the time and saying, this guy's a jerk or that guy's a jerk. It was just... I'm just going to go through it. I'm going to put my head down and work like I've always done and create, how I know how to create and try and build some cool stuff that people like to see.
Well, one of your, at least to me, one creation that comes to mind immediately when I think of you is that 56 Ford pickup.
Yeah, I just sold it.
Oh, is that right?
I was going to have it here today. But there was a couple things I had to do to finish it because, when they're yours, you never actually finish them.
Right.
So I had to haul ass and finish some stuff. Well, I brought it in Tuesday thinking I was going to be able to knock it out. And, I had to order some things that never showed up. And so there it sits on the lift waiting for me to finish it.
Well, another one of my favorite shows that you did a great job on was Monster Garage. Talk a little bit about working with that show.
Well, that was cool. That was like my first TV experience ever. Working with Jesse. I worked on 3 of the Monster Garages with him. The first one I ever did was my own deal. I turned a 69 Rolls Royce into a portable toilet pumper. So that was cool because, they just that was real reality TV though. Jesse called me up himself because we had mutual friends, said, hey, can you turn a Pinto into a toilet pumper? And I said, well, yeah, I can turn anything you want, because at the time I was doing pump systems. And he said, then he called up and said, how about a Rolls Royce? I said, okay, cool, be here on this day. I showed up, I drew the picture, designed it with him. We went down, we built it in 5 days. I won the toolbox. There was no, let's move things around, and can you say this? And can you redo that? You know what I mean? Yeah. It was fun. That show was fun. They just threw you in, and you built whatever you had to build.
I enjoyed watching that show as well. Another one that you it seemed like you had a lot of fun with Bret Michaels, the old Poison singer, with his Rock My RV, I think was the name of the...
Yeah.
Now that one, what did you think about that experience? How'd that go for you?
I mean, it was cool. I like building stuff, so... once again, at the time, when I signed my deal, Bret Michaels wasn't even part of the gig. And so they threw him in because he had big numbers on, Celebrity Apprentice. So they thought he was just going to raise the bar. But you know what? I had a lot of fun with him. But once again, to me, that wasn't reality TV, true reality TV, because we were reenacting things. And so I kind of, after doing this last show, you kind of sit back and you go, well, that's not reality. This is all scripted TV. What I do is I build. I show up every day and I build. And I want people to see what I build. I don't want to see all the drama and all the, the whining and the crying and throwing things. I mean, it comes naturally. Me and the guys argue all the time. But
folks, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Bodie Stroud. Bodie is a custom car builder. In fact, he's been on numerous television shows. He's become quite the icon in the automotive industry. Let's talk about your favorite classic build. What do you enjoy doing when it comes to Bodie Stroud? There's no cameras on. There are no microphones in front. What is it that you prefer to do? What car? What's your favorite classic to work on?
All of them.
Okay, so
yeah, I mean, I don't have a favorite. I love when if someone comes in and they're paying me a boatload of money, it's kind of like it's like Christmas for me every day.
Well, I'm
'Cause-
thinking like a 66 GTO or like the 56 Ford pickup has been one of the
I don't have, for some reason, I've built a lot of 56 Ford pickups, and I'm pretty much known for building those. But to say one is a favorite over the other, I think I've built just about every car I have dreamed of. So,
Yeah,
you
because
know?
here in Southern California, the last time you and I had a chance to speak, we were down with Pickups Unlimited, I think
Yeah,
was the run there,
yeah.
down at Featherly Park or
Yeah.
Canyon Park,
Yeah,
Canyon
yeah,
RV
yeah.
Park. And for you folks that may not be here in the California region listening to us now, California, especially Southern California, really has become the epicenter or the mecca for custom car building.
Yeah.
Bodie Stroud is, you're a perfect example of that. And we talked with Ray McClellan, who is the CEO of Full Throttle Kustomz, a personal friend of yours, earlier before the break. And one of the things that we identified, and that is
Who? I'm just kidding.
as technology continues to advance and some new things become available to builders and tuners, a lot of guys are trying to jump into the game, but they're not necessarily qualified to do it. Have you run into a situation or any situations where you've had to go in and fix what other builders have started and maybe done incorrectly?
Oh,
Oh, hit a nerve there, folks.
let me make sure that there's nobody here.
Okay, so that's a pretty common occurrence. And see, we see
I
that
mean,
a lot.
it seems to be, it's a tough industry. It's hard to, it's a huge juggling act. I find to make my whole world work, I have to have between 20 and 25 cars going at all times, because either someone runs out of money, or you can't get a part, or you're waiting. You always seem to be waiting for something on each build. So you kind of bounce around, you know what I mean? And it's a lot of it has to do with money, unfortunately. It's an expensive hobby, and you always got to wonder too, because there's two sides to every story. When I get a car from another shop and the guy says, "Oh, it's been there for 4 years, and money wasn't the issue," and you're thinking,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that.
well, why did you let it sit
right.
there for 4 years then? You know what I mean? And you're kind of going, okay.
Well, I kind of feel your pain. For me personally, along with hosting this automotive talk radio show, I also have been 37 years in the automatic transmission industry. In fact, here in the lot that we are in now, I've done a number of the transmissions in this lot. And for me, it's competition automatic, so I kind of understand a lot of people have different ideas, but when it comes down to the brass tacks, it can be a little bit of a different conversation. It's a little bit of a different
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
But I just remember the last time you and I were together when we were at that Canyon RV Park, I did see that 56. You had just brought it in, and you had part of the body off of it.
Yeah.
There were some tubular A-frame things that you're responsible for patenting. Can you talk a little bit about that? What is it that you're responsible?
We're finally making a big push on all that. I just bought all my equipment. We're finally into the chassis manufacturing, all my suspension. We're really pushing hard. We're almost there to where we're going to start marketing it and selling it everywhere, because it's been a hard road, long road when you're doing something like that. I didn't realize it would be so long when you're trying to invent something. Well, I invented a thing that goes in an upper control arm. I got sick of all the competitors, because when you're adjusting a camber and a caster, you have to, on all my competitor stuff, you have to pull the tire off, you have to jack the car up, you have to undo all the hardware on the upper control arm, guess where you want it, put it all back together, and you're probably wrong most of the time. Well, my design, it's built right into the upper control arm, and it takes 5 minutes to align your camber and caster on the ground.
Well,
You don't have to take it off. You don't have to jack it up. You don't have to take the tire off. You can put your gauge right on the outside of the wheel, and it tells you, you can dial it in, like you can totally fine tune it. And that's what I was aiming for, because I was having so much trouble with all these other ones I was using.
Well, before we went on air today, I had a chance to look at some of the things that you've created. We're about out of time, but tell folks, where could they go to find more information, not only about Bodie Stroud, but also about this new tubular type of alignment system that you come up with?
You can go to our website. We're right in the process of redoing it and making it so it's more for parts and stuff like that. So you'll be able to find that. Just click on chassis and suspension. Go to bodiestroud.com. You find everything you need on there. And, the good thing about it is it will, if you have a car without it and you aren't getting enough adjustment, and I'm not going to say competitors' names, who mostly it is, but you can buy our arm, it'll fit right on, and you can get that more adjustment that you need.
Folks, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Bodie Stroud. Bodie is a custom car builder. He's become an icon in the custom car world. It has been a blast hanging out with you today. Unfortunately, Bodie, we're just about out of time. Maybe we can have you back out with us in studio sometime.
Sure.
Our studio's not too far from here, not too far from your garage. Be great to have you in. I think you'd really enjoy your time there. It would be a lot of fun. Folks, stick around. We got a bunch more coming up. Jim Naylor's up next with Motorsports Report, Formula One.